Warm greetings, my dear students. I am GRACY SAILASREE, Assistant Professor from the prestigious St. Joseph's Degree and PG College. And today we shall talk about leadership. Leadership is not a new word to us, and we see leaders everywhere, but leaders stand out of common public. Leadership is the ability to develop a vision that motivates others to move with a passion towards a common goal. So leadership is a process by which a person influences others to accomplish an objective and directs the organization in a way that makes it more cohesive and coherent. It brings people together. The leader is the one who has the power to influence. If you look at the definitions by the famous psychologist M. Schemmer says, leadership is the process of social influence in which one person can enlist the aid and support of others in the accomplishment of a common task. Leadership is ultimately about creating a way for people to contribute to making something extraordinary to happen. And this beautiful definition is given by the psychologist Alan Keith. Yes, there are 4 factors which we can talk about leadership. These 4 factors comprise the leader, the follower or the set of followers, communication, and the situation in which the leadership happens. When you talk about the leader has so many traits, so many characteristics, so many qualities, which the leader brings out as and when the situation commands. Before all, the leader or before leading, the leader should introspect himself whether he possesses any leadership qualities. He should be honest, he should be understanding, he should be empathetic, he should be this, he should be that. He has so many traits to count at. But still, the leader should have that balance of temperament to carry out his leadership activity throughout when he leads a set of group or a set of members. To be successful, the leader has to convince his followers, not his superiors. The leader has to be worthy of being followed. And coming to the follower, the leader should know who is he leading and who are his followers, who are the ones who are being led. The fundamental starting point is having a good understanding of human nature, such as the followers' needs, their emotions, their motivational levels, and what are they inspired with. And the next factor of leadership we can talk about is communication. The non-verbal communication works more with the leaders than verbal communication. The non-verbal communication is leading. For example, when the leader has to set an example, he has to do and show. He has to communicate through his body language than his oral speech. Because bad communication may harm the relationship between leaders and the employees. So communication should be taken care when the leader leads a set of members or a group of members. And another factor we can talk about is the situation in which the leadership happens. The leader should use his sense of discretion. He should use his common sense. He should use his civic sense. In fact, all the senses, maybe including sixth sense, he has to use when he leads a group of members. He should use his sense of judgment to decide the best course of action and the leadership style that is needed for a given situation. Coming to the styles of leadership. There are various styles of leadership we can talk about, but basically they are categorized into authoritarian or autocritic leadership style, participative or democratic leadership style, or delegative or free rein kind of leadership. When I say autocritic leader is highly authoritative in nature, and he operates on his own, and he only takes the decision, and he is taskmaster. This is one of the biggest advantages of being autocratic. He is a taskmaster, but his welfare orientation towards employees is a little low. And he enforces his decisions towards his group members. Sometimes he might become abusive, sometimes he might become unprofessional, but still he sees to it that by hook or crook the task is accomplished. And coming to democratic leader, as we know, democracy means participation. This leader is highly participative in nature. He participates in subordinates' activities, and he also allows the subordinates to participate in his activities. He includes one or more employees in the decision-making process, and his communication pattern is very free. A free flow of communication happens between the leader and the subordinates, and he takes suggestions and he gives suggestions. Thereby, he sees to it that the work is done in a more amicable way. And coming to laissez-faire leadership, which is also called free rein leadership or delegative leadership style. Here, the leader entrusts his authority to the subordinates or gives power to the subordinates to make decisions. However, the leader is still responsible for the decisions that are made. This is used when employees are able to analyze the situation, and delegative style is not generally useful because it may become impoverished in the course of time. And there are certain theories of leadership we can talk about, and the main theories are trait theories, behavioral theories, contingency theories, and situational theories. When I say trait theories, the philosophers who have propounded trait theories believe that leaders are born and not made. That means there are people who inherit certain qualities from their forefathers or parents, or who are born with such traits are called trait leaders. This approach arose from the great man theory as a way of identifying the key characteristics of successful leaders. It was believed that through this theory, critical leadership traits could be isolated, and that people with such traits could then be recruited, selected, and installed into leadership positions. This theory was common in the military and is still used as a set of criteria to select candidates for commissions. But still, by the end of the day, trait theory philosophers believe that leaders are born and not made. And there are certain advantages to this trait theory. It is naturally pleasing theory. It serves as a yardstick against which the leadership traits of an individual can be assessed, and it also gives a detailed knowledge and understanding of the leader element and the leadership process. There are limitations also. There is bound to be some subjective judgment in determining who is regarded as a good or successful leader. There is also a disagreement over which traits are the most important for an effective leader. On the contrary, we have a theory called behavioral theory. These theories of leadership are based upon the belief that great leaders are made and not born. Rooted in behavioralism, this leadership theory focuses on the actions of leaders, not on mental qualities or internal states. According to this theory, people can learn to become leaders through teaching and observation. This approach says that anyone who adopts the appropriate behavior can be a good leader. And there are certain studies made by Ohio State Leadership Theories, or Ohio State University, and also Michigan State University. And Ohio State University comes up with a theory called managerial grid theory. Right, managerial grid theory talks about 4 types of leaders who are categorized into team leaders, task leaders, country club leaders, and impoverished leaders. And there is a grid which is drawn to show with 2 dimensions as to how much concern the leaders have for the people and for the production.